Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game 1 in a series between Xiaokkai versus Lost King. Game 1 taking place here on Secret Valley. Gonna be forced to turn off Fog of War as I cannot switch the cameras as there is absolutely no observers in this match. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening in game number 1 of this series as Xiaokkai spawns as the blue orc on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we see Lost King spawning under the name Hi Tom 99 over here on the bottom left. Game 1 in the series as things get underway. Now, first thing I wanted to say for all of you guys out there, I know that some of you guys find it a little distracting to have my kids in the background. Right now, I'm not casting with my kids in the background, and I think someone said that I was being a bit unprofessional with my kids in the background. And as true as that may be, I am not a professional caster. I know I am trying to give you guys high quality cast for you guys, and this is pretty much like below minimum wage for me. I think I'm breaking some labor laws at the rate I'm paying myself. If you can say anything about that. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at things. We see an Archmage now coming out from Lost King. Meanwhile, back over here to the top, we see the Blade Master coming out. It will be your standard Archmage versus Blade Master matchup. Now, with all of that said, I do appreciate you guys. I really enjoy casting these games for you, and I do want to get better. I do know that having my kids in the background can be a bit distracting, but then again, I am a father first and a caster second, so anytime I can squeeze in a cast in my busy schedule is when you guys get that, my kids get priority. I know it's a bit unfair, but you know what? I think I am a better person for it. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going down here as we now have Xiaokkai coming in with this Peon Scout to figure out what his opponent's doing. You see that there is no arcane tower, but a bunch of militia are being called out as the Archmage doing a quick job to try and take down this Peon. The Peon doesn't want to stick around in this fight as the Archmage should be dropping a water elemental right there. The Peon should be able to easily get taken down here. The Footman should be able to finish him off, and that will give the Archmage level 2. Meanwhile, the Blade Master is going to sell his Scroll of Town Portal and get that Circle of Nobility. Archmage nearly at level 2. Once this Null Overseer gets taken down, going to pick up that item and then perhaps pick up that Tome of Agility. Oh, he has to pick up the Tome of Agility before the Blade Master gets it. And the Blade Master now comes across, getting in some easy damage, finishing off one peasant and may be able to finish off another as well. Blade Master on the board with 50 experience already, as that is how much experience each peasant gives, 25. Archmage now heading off to the north with level 2 with 25 bonus experience of his own, and that little bit of extra time for that Brilliance Aura could mean an extra water elemental or two that we are going to be seeing. That Circlet of Nobility also bumping up that Archmage's mana from 330 to 360, and that is going to make a relatively big difference later on, as an extra 30 mana really helps out in that mid portion of the game where the Archmage wants to drop down water elementals and try to take down buildings that are being constructed. Meanwhile, Archmage still wandering around the center. We are teching to tier 2 by the human player, Lost King. Meanwhile, we already see that Xiaokkai is well on his way to tier 2. He should be able to get up his stronghold faster. The problem will be the resurrection or training time on that Shadow Hunter. If things go according to the meta, you're going to see the human player pick up a Beastmaster from that tavern, and the training of a tavern hero is instantaneous, giving a little bit of an edge, even though that the keep is about, I would say, about 15 to 20 seconds behind. All right, let's take a look back over here. The Voodoo Lounge has been constructed. Archmage doing a very good job clearing up some relatively easy creep camps. He does pick up a Slippers of Agility, though, which would have been a rather useful item on that Blade Master. It looks like Xiaokkai is actually spending a lot of time chasing units around the map as opposed to actually dealing any sort of damage. The Archmage is still relatively high on mana here. He's going to perhaps pick up Dust of Appearance, no, Boots of Speed and Staff of Teleportation. That means he's going to be able to teleport inside here, or fight in here, and then teleport out if the going gets a little bit too rough. It looks like there is not an Arcane Vault yet, which does surprise me a bit, as the Archmage should be dropping some Water Elementals and now going after these creep camps. Alright, Archmage attempting to take down this Orc Burrow. Orc Burrow is dealing a fair bit of damage there, as the Grunts now making their way from the bottom. Archmage now going to Staff of Teleportation over here to the bottom, and the Blade Master is already there. Brilliant, brilliant move by Xiaokkai, knowing where exactly the Archmage was going to go and stopping him. This is a complete meta idea there, as the Footmen were already on the bottom right. If the Archmage had put enough pressure in the main base to force the Blade Master back home, but instead he Staff of Teleports down to try and clear out what should have been an easy Fountain of Health creep camp, getting a lot of good items, but the Blade Master already headed him off. Archmage gonna instead drop some Water Elementals and try to clear out more creeps, but this is not gonna really work though, as you can see that the Grunts are on the move trying to figure out where exactly this Archmage is. You can see the keep has already been upgraded, where perhaps we are not looking at, no, we are looking into a Blood Mage. Alright, a Blood Mage as the second hero. Shadow Hunter is already going to be coming out. Double Water Elementals. Spirit Lodge already getting in a lot of pressure. It most likely will get cancelled here, but the Blade Master is going to get a bit of experience as one Water Elemental goes down. Archmage now trying to head back here, and that Spirit Lodge is incredibly important. Without the Spirit Walkers for Spirit Link and Disenchant, the Sorceress are simply able to deal too much, slow down too many units and deal too much focus fire damage onto those Grunts who have that heavy armor. Archmage now down over here fighting with only one additional Water Elemental, and that Water Elemental ended up getting purged. That was a huge mistake by the human player, dropping the Water Elemental before that Null was taken down. That purge instantly taking about, I believe it's 500 hit points off, and then tanking and not being able to deal nearly as much damage. The Red Drake just constantly pestering that Archmage, even though the Archmage will regenerate faster than that Red Drake can deal damage. Back to the north, you see the Shadow Hunter gonna go ahead and try and clear out this base here. He will get to level 2 as the Shadow Hunter goes down. Item is a Claws of Attack +6, a very nice item to eventually be transferred to that Blade Master. So far, we've seen some very good map presence by Xiaokkai, or map understanding, and this is one of those little things that it gives a definitive edge, knowing where your opponent is going to be just based on the meta. You can see a little bit of a healing there, as that Grunt trying to get back that healing wave, definitely helpful, and that is another reason why it is so important that that Shadow Hunter creeps away from that Blade Master. If that Blade Master was nearby, what would have ended up happening is that Shadow Hunter would have ended up still being level 1, not being able to save a Grunt. Now, what we do see in a little bit of a change is Wind Riders over Raiders. Now, that is an interesting choice, as the Wind Riders are much, much more effective against Sorceress as that piercing damage, but it also neutralizes them a bit more, as the Sorceress can slow down the Wind Rider, and Wind Riders do not have a lot of hit points. Cloak of Shadows left behind over there. You're going to see that Wind Rider make sure to destroy that so that the additional gold from selling the item is not available. Archmage using a Clarity Potion, not healing yet. We should be training up a couple of priests. There we are, as the Water Elemental just doing a little bit of guard duty, wanting to make sure to keep these peasants safe. That Water Elemental doing a good bit of damage. Are we going to see a turnaround? Yes, that Wind Rider cannot focus or not stay there for far too long. But what is happening is that only these two Wind Riders are being trained. We now see a transition into Raiders. And what that means is that the human player doesn't know what he's really going up against. Water Elemental now once more push through here. There's a couple of peasants. They are taking a bit of piercing damage. As are we going to see perhaps a peasant get taken down? Oh, one Wind Rider was taken down there. That was a big loss, as we now are looking and moving into the center. Blade Master is not revealed, but he is slowed. He could be using a Wind Walk. Not quite sure why he isn't doing exactly that. Meanwhile, an ensnare onto a Grunt, And even though that grunt is spirit linked, he is actually just feeding a whole bunch of damage back to the other 2 people that he is linked with. As we see that grunt will most likely get taken down. Oh, denied by the Shadow Hunter. A beautiful deny right there. And that little bit of extra experience would have pushed that Blood Mage that much closer to level 2. All right, there is a banish onto that Raider. That Raider is pretty much out of the fight for a little while. There's an ensnare onto the Footman as the Blade Master is currently slowed. Blade Master losing a significant amount of damage as we're looking at focusing down perhaps of the Orc Burrows. Orc Burrows do take additional magic damage, as you've seen that Orc Burrow really get focused down rather quickly. Blood Mage was resurrected quickly as well, as we now have a potion of healing. Blade Master, oh, ensnare Hex onto the poor Blood Mage. Blood Mage could use that potion of healing, uses it just in time as he backs off once again. Meanwhile, slow speed scroll, you see Wind Riders being added, and with these water elementals out on the field and a relative good amount of mana on this Archmage, it's going to be difficult to have those Wind Riders really do anything. You need to wait for the Archmage to run out of mana and then wait for the time life on these water elementals to really make a big difference. This slow army is just causing so many problems, as it is not good ever to run from a human army, especially when they have slow. Experience starting to just add up faster and more for that Blood Mage, as the Blood Mage now has Siphon mana, most likely, to add and get in a little bit more damage. There goes the grunt there, Archmage, about halfway to level 4, as the Orc Burrow is now getting focused down as well. Problem with Orc Burrows is that they do give experience, so it is a relatively good target to try and take down. Blade Master getting banished and getting completely neutralized for a moment there. Meanwhile, the Wind Rider is still out. Water Elemental is about to get shot down, or about to lose its time life, but that may not matter, as we now see the Siphon mana in action, and that Blood Mage gonna get or give extra mana to that Archmage in just a moment to take down more of those Wind Riders. A very, very interesting choice of units so far, as we see a second Water Elemental now being placed down. There's that Disenchant, but is that Disenchant going to make enough of a difference? Yes, it will, as it also does a double action, not allowing as much mana to get siphoned away. All right, banish once more on another unit. Blade Master was unable to do any damage again, but we're now looking at Xiaokkai doing a great job just winning this war of attrition, not losing nearly as many units as his opponent. Overall supply 49 over 50 compared to 42 over 54. As the Blade Master trying to finish off more of those units. Wind Rider gets saved again with a healing wave. Meanwhile, the Blade Master trying to use a little bit of the Blood Mage trying to save some units with Banish, but not realizing that the Spirit Walkers end up dealing even more damage again. Alright, this game is quickly unraveling for the human player. Xiaokkai is now starting to build up a very strong lead. Scroll of Town Portal finally used, and that's just not how you want to be using your Scroll of Town Portal. Yes, it is good to save your hero, but you need to have the right mindset of using that Scroll of Town Portal earlier when the fight starts to go south. Before you lose all of those extra Sorceress, Priest, and your Blood Mage, if you think a fight is not going to go in your favor, then use it. Unfortunately, he didn't know that he was going to be losing that much, as it's very hard to predict these fights. And now we're looking at a 49 over 50 or 60 deficit, 49 over 60 compared to 36 over 54. The human player has a lot of ground to make up, and perhaps getting to level 4 and with level 2 Brilliance Aura will help. Level 2 Brilliance Aura giving extra mana to those Spellbreakers, and more importantly to those Priests and those Sorceress. But with the Secret Valley Fountains of Health on the corners of the map, these Grunts, Wind Riders, and Kodo Beast are going to stay relatively healthy coming into that next fight. And with that extra advantage, I think it's going to be too much to overcome. 56 over 60 compared to 38 over 54. Human player doing everything he possibly can to try and make up some lost ground. Blood Mage using a Clarity Potion as well. The Blade Master just simply looking for the human army, and he's going to find it here in just a moment. Where is that Blade Master? No, the Blade Master actually runs back south and is going to be doing creeping instead. All right, this might give a very long shot, but might give a bit of an advantage to the human. or make up some lost ground, not clearly an advantage at all, as a crystal ball now dropped. That is going to help with that Wind Walking Blade Master. But is it going to be doing enough? Shadow Hunter is at level 4 as well, and with a Sobi Mask and Potion of Mana, those hexes and healing waves will be coming relatively quickly. Blood Mage off to the back over here. It looks like a Water Elemental may get focused down, or perhaps the Blood Mage. There goes another unit there. Water Elemental now pretty much just stealing mana away from the Priest, as we're looking at, oh, a big target here. All right, are we going to see the damage? Archmage might be in trouble. Scroll of Town Portal used, and now in a relatively early fashion to get out of a bad situation, only losing one Sorceress. And that is how you need to use that Scroll of Town Portal. He is still down about 27 supply or 25 supply at this point, as the Archmage and Blood Mage need to figure out what to do next. No additional expansion is making it rather difficult for the human player to get any sort of lead, siphon mana into the Archmage to get him into the 150 range, as the Blade Master quickly reveals himself, only to now run back. All right, it looks like the Orc army is ready to go. A couple of peons are nestled in with this group to help absorb a bit of damage. Spellbreakers are here as well, and there is that damage coming through. A quick banish onto the Blade Master, siphon mana, and disenchant already coming through. Disenchant onto two water elementals that were too close to each other. And with that, a quick disenchant to take them down. Archmage actually text to Blizzard instead, as the Blizzard is now raining down on those units. However, the Raiders should be coming in with an ensnare fast and furiously. There's a Water Elemental as well. Wait, did he go for, what did he get? Brilliance Aura level 1. Oh, it was only level 1 Brilliance Aura. It is level 1 Blizzard and level 2 Water Elementals, I believe. As the damage is now starting to come up, all those units are now starting to back off. All right, Shadow Hunter now gets up to level 5. Siphon mana away. Blade Master quickly gets the kill off on the Archmage, and that is going to be the GG. Human losing to Xiaokkai in game 1 of this series. And Xiaokkai just came back with a vengeance over the top. In the mid portion of the game, no real way for the human to recover. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.